Reince Priebus is completely right. The rules have been set for a long time. If you want to be the Republican Party's nominee, you ought to know the rules. Trump knows the rules, or at least folks around him do at this point. I think he doesn't like the fact that it's going to be hard for him to win the 1,237 pledged delegates he needs to win on a first ballot, and that's so he'd like to create a situation where the public believes the rules are rigged, that the rules are the problem rather than his inability to win.
It's akin to the person in charge at a major corporation, has a disgruntled worker in the ranks who doesn't like the rules, doesn't believe they should be one size fits all, whines out loud so everybody in the company can hear how badly they're being treated, and the boss telling that person to zip it up and give it a rest. Then again, in that situation, the boss would have leverage over the worker. And Reince Priebus only wishes he could exert that authority over Donald Trump. The political animal begins right there. No breaks for the weary, no rest for those seeking to be first in line for tickets to the steel cage match between these two guys in Cleveland later this year. He is the veteran Democratic media strategist for Cate Communications in Tampa, Florida, Franco Ripple. She is the veteran writer and senior contributor at the Federalist, D.C. McAllister. The cage is now open for business, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to give the left a shot at this first, D.C. Let's go to Franco on this and get his opinion. Has Reince Priebus lost complete control, Franco?
Well, Ed, I will say you're wrong about one thing. Reince Priebus is not the boss. The people are the boss. The people who vote for these candidates are the boss. And right now, they're deciding by a margin that they're giving Donald Trump more of the votes. But ultimately, too, those same people are going to decide who the delegates are. And because of Donald Trump's woeful lack of for the delegate game, the people may make a different decision there. Everything is off after the first ballot. Nobody knows. But yes, he has lost control of his party.
Look at the left going there and trying to make some sort of a little dig right there at the beginning. D.C., and then I'll throw it to you because, look, here we have an RNC Rules Committee member saying today that Trump will, and this was fascinating, will get the nomination with 1,100 delegates, which is not the rule at the present time. And then you got Reince Priebus telling basically, give us a break, Donald Trump. It does seem as if this is complete chaos now. We've reached the battle point.
I think he walked that back a little bit. He was just saying that he probably will, that he'll be able to rope in 170 or whatever it is, more delegates on the second ballot. So he wasn't like changing the rules on that. So Donald Trump is still going to have to get to 1237 if he wants to become the nominee on the first ballot. But like Franco said, and Franco, you were great. You keep preaching it. I mean, I agreed with you that Donald Trump does not know the rules. He's whining about it. These rules have been in place before October. He knew what was going on in Colorado. There have been caucuses in other states. There have been other states where the popular vote didn't happen, or those to be thrown out. He's won some caucuses. So, I mean, this is not something that he should be whining about. He needs to get in there and fight, learn the system, and if he loses outright.
But how do you, wait one sec, DC, how do you walk this back? This was Georgia lawyer Randy Evans on MSNBC's Morning Joe who said if Donald Trump exceeds 1,100 votes, he will become the nominee even though he may not have 1237. Those aren't the rules.
I think what he was saying, I've heard him backtrack that. I think what he was, or not backtrack, but explain it, was that he was saying that if he gets that, he's so close that on the second vote, he'll be able to wheel and deal to get enough votes on the second one to actually get the majority. I think that's what he was saying.
Oh, okay. We'll give him a little misspeak on this one, maybe. I'm going to put a check mark next to that one. Franco, you're not getting away easy on this one, brother, because here's Hillary Clinton now in her interview with the editorial team of the New York Daily News admitting her tax proposals will increase taxes on the American people by at least $1 trillion over the next 10 years. Bravo, Franco. Thank you so much to the left and Hillary Clinton. Nice job helping the American taxpayer. Come on. This is ridiculous. Even you can't go with this.
I certainly can go with this, and here's why. There are tax increases and there are tax increases. And if you look at, first of all, it's $1 trillion over 10 years, which is $100 billion a year. Who are these taxes being raised on, and what are they being raised for? You've got $350 billion in an income tax increase for a new college compact, largely on the top 1%. You've got $275 billion in a business tax increase for infrastructure improvements.
Okay.
You've got
but I'm going to stop you here, and this gets me angry to no end. What the hell are we doing adding more taxes to the American people when we've got so much waste sitting out there and no one, even Hillary Clinton, bothers to talk about that, Franco?
I think she does talk about tax fairness. I think what she's trying to do is give the middle class, the working class of America, when you say American people, to me, that means the middle class and the working class, of America, people who scrimp and save and try to get by every day, people who on the campaign trail are saying, how are you going to help send my kids to college?
I get it.
How are you going to afford
I get
health?
it. I get it, but I got to be honest with you, my friend. I haven't heard you say anything about waste, so I'm going to throw this over to D.C. D.C., $1 trillion over the next 10 years. It's just more money, D.C.
It's really who you're defining as the rich. I mean, you talk about taxing businesses, for example. So you're mostly taxing medium and small-sized businesses. This is going to hurt the middle class because it's going to hurt wages, it's going to hurt hiring, and so they're not going to be able to invest. And there's also capital gains, and there's investment on death tax inheritance. So this is going to hurt people in the middle class. Raising taxes on the wealthy never works. It was John F. Kennedy who said, if you have a problem with tax revenues, then reduce the tax rate. I mean, this is what's going to generate business so that people will have more jobs, and so they'll have money to hire more people, and you'll have more tax revenue in the long run.
Okay.
You know, so
20 seconds to both of you. Hang on, Franco. I know you're in there, but I got to get this in. I got 20 seconds to both of you. Franco, I'll give you first shot. What do you think about Ted Cruz going to Wall Street saying, help me?
Well, he's got to do something if he wants to sew this thing up. Now's the time. And he's certainly, of the Republican candidates left, he's the one with the ties to Wall Street, I'd say.
So, D.C., let's go to you, too, because a lot of people are railing against Wall Street, like Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, when she's not taking money for speeches here. What do you think about Ted Cruz saying, you guys better help me?
I mean, he's going to have to, like Franco said, I agree. He's going to have the resources to get into and win this. So that's understandable. But it doesn't mean selling out the small man. It is not that kind of thing.
See, I set this up perfectly because I knew at the end I'd get the two of you to agree on something. That's exactly where we got to end this. But yes, hey, when you want to defeat somebody, sometimes you got to go to the devil to make the bucks and go win. D.C. McAllister, Franco Ripple, always a pleasure, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. He's the candidate who will not go away even if he tries, because plenty believe he's the only one who can beat Hillary Clinton. Wait till you hear this one next on The Hardline.